Citizens of Liberty Hill, we need to protect our city from rising property taxes. My opinion is that if we do not make changes in the leadership of our city, we will all be in danger of increased property tax rates. Hi, I'm Pastor Bill Brannen with the Liberty Hill Voters Association. Last year I was speaking with Ryan Anglin at Brightfire and learned about his experience of doing business in Liberty Hill. What should have taken 3 months took over a year because of the inefficiency in our government and the type of culture that is being created by certain current leaders. After hearing his story, I stated that if what he is telling me is true, then property taxes in Liberty Hill are going to be raised. Right after that, I discovered that the City Council was about to vote on raising our property tax rate, which they did. After speaking with Ryan, I began talking to different business leaders in our community and discovered that almost all of them have experienced significant challenges working with the City of Liberty Hill. Most of them told me that in their extended circles outside of the city, Liberty Hill has developed a reputation of being hostile to businesses and development. Most of the people who shared with me stories of their difficulties working with the city are afraid to speak out publicly about what is going on with our city for fear of retribution. People are left in the dark because people are afraid to speak out. That is not the type of city I hope Liberty Hill will continue to be. What I learned is that Liberty Hill has a long history of being anti-growth, which I totally understand. We do not want to lose what we love about Liberty Hill. What is most important to me are the actual citizens of Liberty Hill, and especially the poor and those on fixed incomes who cannot afford rising property tax rates. Because the actual city limits of Liberty Hill are small and urban sprawl is happening all around, there is an increased need for funding our government that rests on a small number of residential homes. Liberty Hill cannot stop the growth happening all around us, but we can create benefit for the citizens from it. The only way to protect citizens from rising property tax rates is through alternative forms of revenue, which happen to already be the largest forms of revenue in the city, but they are dependent on businesses and development. Right now, permitting and fees are the highest revenue stream, but that primarily happens when developers are building. The second highest revenue stream is sales tax revenue. Sales tax revenue is the best form of revenue to protect citizens from rising property taxes. Commercial property taxes are also an important long-term source of revenue that helps protect citizens from the risk of rising tax rates on their homes. We need leaders who will respond to the growth happening around us in a way that protects and benefits the citizens of Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill has always struggled with adapting to what is happening around us for the benefit of citizens. We had leaders in the past who understood what was going on and encouraged the city to grow. Unfortunately, there were other leaders who resisted growth. Thankfully, the leaders who understood the importance of growth were able to extend the ETJ east on Highway 29 and claimed about half of the south side of 29 toward Ronald Reagan and the north side before Leander claimed it all for themselves. Unfortunately, HEB was built in Leander rather than Liberty Hill. All of the sales taxes and property taxes from HEB and business around it, where many of us go to shop, go to Leander instead of to us. HEB considered building at Seward Junction, but chose to build in Leander. One of our goals in Liberty Hill Voters Association is to make Liberty Hill more attractive to businesses and developers than surrounding cities. This is how we protect citizens from rising property taxes. Government organizations always want to grow and have the ability to raise property tax rates to do so. Liberty Hill was able to raise the property tax rate recently without taking it to the voters because they kept the increase within the bounds of what is allowed by law without the voters' consent. I would love to look into whether we have the right as citizens to amend the charter in 2 years, forbidding the city to raise property tax rates at all without voters' consent, and capping the maximum rate property taxes can be raised in the charter. I do not know if the state gives us the right to do that right now, but it is definitely worth looking into if there are enough citizens interested in supporting it. Please let us know if that is something you would support. In the election last November, citizens voted against increasing the property tax rate to fund the operation of Liberty Hill schools, which they requested because of a decrease in state funding. What many citizens do not realize is that there are also May elections where the school could add property tax increases to the ballot. Historically, only around 150 people vote in the May elections. I'm not sure if all citizens even know they happen. While I believe Liberty Hill loves our children and supports education, in November, citizens chose to prioritize protecting families from rising property tax rates instead. That decision could be easily overturned if the school chooses to call for a special election next May, where very few people vote. The point is that the property tax rate on our homes can increase because of one good cause followed by another, causes which many of us support. Without an alternative strategy to raise funds for those causes, increasing the property tax rate becomes the default means of funding. There is a better way. It would be much better to fund local government and the schools through sales tax and commercial property tax, but we need to develop those revenue streams before the need demands immediate funding. That takes the right leaders in our city that will make Liberty Hill more attractive to businesses and developers than surrounding cities. I know that we would all prefer to keep Liberty Hill a small town, but isn't it more important to protect families from increasing property tax rates? That is why the Liberty Hill Voters Association has endorsed candidates that will protect citizens from increasing property tax rates by promoting sales tax revenue and commercial property taxes. Regardless of where you stand on property taxes, I encourage you to get involved in our city and vote in this May election.